Birling. The character of Arthur Birling represents the opposite of everything that J.B. Priestley believed in. Whilst he is not necessarily a bad man, he is a capitalist through and through and places huge importance on his own social standing in society. His purpose in the play was to show all that was wrong with capitalist Britain of the time. Much of the dramatic tension in the play comes from his heated exchanges with the inspector, who, some critics argue, is in the play to represent the views of Priestley himself. Throughout the play, he bluntly refuses to accept any responsibility for the death of Eva Smith and attempts to justify his decision to sack her. His initial justifications are linked solely to profits. In Act 1, he asserts, with no shame, that it is his
duty to keep labour costs down.
However, a more sinister side to his personality is revealed when he explains his real reasons for sacking her, which was linked to her role as one of the ringleaders in some recent strike action. Clearly, Birling does not accept the idea that workers have rights, or at the very least, the right to strike. Birling's values were not uncommon in the early 20th century, and it could be argued that they're not uncommon now. However, Priestley's socialist view was that people should always come before profits, and Birling, therefore, is often made to look ridiculously foolish and selfish during his conversations with the inspector, and he is thrown by the inspector's assertion that
it's better to ask for the earth than to take it.
Birling has tried and failed to impress the inspector by alluding to his influential friends, and the audience has now witnessed Birling failing to gain control of the situation in his own home. Following his remarks about the Titanic being
unsinkable
and his saying that
the Germans don't want war,
Birling has lost all credibility with the audience. Whilst he is in the play to represent the ruling classes, it should be noted that Birling is actually a self-made man. Although he is clearly proud of what he has achieved, Birling is not totally secure with his social status, something he confesses to Gerald early in Act 1.
I have an idea that your mother, Lady Croft, while she doesn't object to my girl, feels you might have done better for yourself socially.
It is perhaps this awareness that forces Birling to constantly boast of his successes and achievements. Priestley informs us in the stage directions at the beginning of Act 1 that his wife is his social superior. We are also made aware of how pleased he is that his daughter, Sheila, is engaged to be married into the wealthy and influential Croft family. Although it would seem that the benefit to his business and his social standing are the real reason that the evening is one of the
happiest nights
of his life. Birling is also quick to point out to Gerald that the port they are drinking is the same as Gerald's father drinks, and also that he might be on the next honours list.
Just a knighthood, of course.
As a result of all his feeble attempts to impress, Birling makes himself look ridiculous and becomes an object of humour for the audience. The key thing to remember about the character of Birling is that he does not learn anything by the end of the play. He still feels justified in everything he has done, and his first concern is for his own reputation rather than the fact that a young girl who was pregnant with his grandchild is dead. When, towards the end of Act 3, they have established that there is no Inspector Gould, Birling, unlike Eric and Sheila, is far too ready to deny his involvement, and is equally keen to identify the one thing he has learned.
We've discovered one important fact, that fellow was a fraud and we've been hoaxed.
When at the end of the play, Birling receives the phone call informing him that a young girl has died, the irony of this is not lost on the audience.